Hello, and welcome to Rory's Brainworks, where we get creative and see if it works. Today, in the realm of tutorials, we're going to go into weaving. Now, we're still in the realm of aesthetic shibari, but next week, we're going to deep dive into the dark realms of Kimbaku and Kimbaku B. Some of the more restrictive ties, the tight binds that are generally used for a more amorous setting. But today, I shall reach into my proverbial bag of tricks and bring you another aesthetic shibari tie for the chest. This harness uses a lot of weaving, which is why I wanted to showcase it. I will be showing you two variants. The first way is the mono-colored traditional style, which is how you would normally see it tied on people, and probably the easier part of it. The second one I'm going to show you is, well, my variant, where I get a little extra with it. This time, Marie is here to help me out with the tie, and hopefully there'll be less drama than last week. Anyway, let me explain in greater detail what we're going to be covering today. Now, I feel like there's a lot of intimidation with people who are first starting out trying to do shibari. They look at all of these fancy ties and they think, I can never do that. And that's the point of these tutorials I've been trying to teach you guys. There are three major things that I see inside of shibari through my learning process. One of which are knots. Knots are like the anchor to any tie. They can be very decorative, but for the most part, they're trying to hold something in place, whether a rope to another rope or a rope to itself. The second of these are slips and cinches. These are the things you would use to tighten particular areas from a rope to a rope or a rope to itself, or from a rope to a body part. Third of which is weaving, which we're going to be covering today. Weaving is what makes the aesthetic shibari a little bit more intricate, but weaving also does add a lot of structural integrity. Now, weaving does have less of a home with Kimbaku, sort of a halfway point in Kimbaku B, but I feel like weaving, when you start to get a grasp of it, is one of those major details that really cohesively brings your shibari ties together, what allows you to come up with your own ideas. It's what allows you to stop mimicking the ties you see and creating something new for yourself. Now, in the last tutorials, I've gone over knots, I've gone over slips and cinches, and now I'm going over weaving. Hopefully these three tools will allow you to become a better shibari artist for yourself, to independently make your own ties. That's the hopes, is that you get to be great on your own. I mean, I'm still gonna throw out a bunch of tutorials because I want to and I like sharing in my art, but I also like helping other people become the best artists they can be. Now, for the first variant of this tutorial, I'm gonna be using two lengths of 30 feet rope. The other variant is gonna be using two 30 feet rope as well, but one's gonna be red, one's gonna be purple, and it's gonna make the weaving pop that much more. Now, less of the blah blah, let's get to the tie. Now, before we get started, I'm gonna be doing... Am I forgetting something? Oh, right, yes. 3 rules that are very important. Safe, sane, and consensual. Safe, you want to make sure that you have a pair of safety shears, scissors, that way you can cut ropes. If while you're doing a tie, a part of you becomes numb, tingly, pins and needles, loss of blood flow, you may have to cut those ropes if you can't get the ropes off in time. You can get new rope, you can't get a new life. And third is consensual. We are both consenting adults. Keep it that way. Communication is key. All right then, can we get to this? Cool. To start off, I'm gonna tie our first 2 ropes together. I'm gonna create a normal square knot. So I'm gonna have this one go inside the other one at the middle of the hitch. And I'm gonna reach in there, I'm gonna grab the other rope, and I'm gonna pull that bad boy through. Cinch it up tight. We have ourselves a square knot. And what we're going to do is place that around the neck, and we will begin our first weave. Let me drop you down a little bit. There, that's a little bit at a better height. So what we're going to do is we're going to cross once like that, and then go around. Once around, we're going to cross and go underneath the ropes we just came from, and go back around. Be sure to tighten it a little bit. Is that okay, Marie? Awesome. Now once around, we're going to come up and do the same X that we've done here. I'll do this one first. Hold on to this one right here. I'm gonna go underneath, and since I went over on this one, and we're gonna follow it this line up, I'm gonna go underneath it. If one goes over, the next must go under. 'Tis the mantra of weaving, so saith the Rory. And people who do macrame. And essentially, that is what we're gonna be doing today. We're gonna be doing macrame with ropes on humans, or mannequins in this instance. Now with the other one, we're gonna go up through again. So since its neighbor, the one that it will be following, starts out by going over, we will go under. Under, and then over. So saith the Rory. Cool, the first ropes that we did are hugging just beneath the breast. They go back around, tie, come, leave about ½ inch of space right here before they go up, weave between the ones they just were, and go back around. Let's switch her up again. Now we're gonna tighten just a little bit. Is that okay, Marie? Awesome. We're gonna create a little X, and then we're gonna go underneath the armpits here. So when we come back around, we're gonna tighten right here in the armpits a little bit. And the reason that we did that X in the back is to create a little bit of structural integrity, but at the same time provide opposing forces so that the rope doesn't go slack. Now what we're gonna do, one at a time, is we're gonna weave around these two ropes here. For this one, I'm going to go under and over first. Under, over, so saith the Rory. And we're just gonna let that rope hang out right there while we weave the other one. We're gonna make it do symmetrically what it's doing on the other side. So we're gonna start under and over. All right, once weaved through, we're gonna go back through the armpits, and then we can come back down this way to start weaving over here. But we have the first part of our weave done. Now once back around, I wanna make sure that what I've done up here stays that way. So I'm gonna create an anchor with an overhand knot. Same thing we used with the Hishikarada. Let me get over on this side. There's a lot of space over there. Anyway, so we're gonna tighten the ropes a bit in both hands, and then we're gonna go over the fingers, and then this area right here, where the fingers are, that's the loop we're gonna go into from behind. Create the loop. We put the ropes through, and we tighten. And back around. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna place these ropes underneath these ties that we had done previously over here. Now once we've gone through that way, we can add a little extra spice and structural integrity if we wanted to, using the same kind of overhand knot that we did with the Futomomo. So we're gonna separate our ropes just a little bit. We're gonna go over, under, tighten that up a little bit by pulling at the bottom, wrapping it around, give it a little extra tightness, and we're good to go. We'll do that with the other side. We're gonna go over and then under. Tighten that up. And then with the ropes, they're gonna cross paths. You're gonna cinch, tighten that down a little bit, and go the other way. Entirely necessary? No. Does it look pretty? I think so. Now, once back around, we're gonna do similarly to what we did up in this area. We're gonna come up, weave around, and go back down. We'll start this with this one first. Since the neighbor that it is following goes above this one, we're gonna go underneath it. If one goes over and under, the other must go under and over. So say Rory. Alright, we're gonna leave that there for right now. And we're gonna do the same thing with this side. Now, as I'm going over here, it would make sense for me to go over this one. Because over, under, over. We're following where our neighbor is going. So we're gonna go over this one, under, because it's over on our neighbor. Over, under, so saith the me. I just smacked the camera. I'm sorry, camera. Or if you're wearing 3D glasses, what a wonderful experience I just put you through. Wow! That'll be $300, please. Now once we've weaved these two, we're gonna keep with the same motif of going over, under, and we're gonna wrap around again. Once back around, we're gonna tighten it up a little bit, do a crossover, and then go back around to do the same thing. Now once back around, I'm going to get on my knees because I am too tall for this. So my camera may or may not have just overheated. However, we're back, we're up and going, let's get back to it. So this time, we're gonna go first with this one. Now we're gonna follow our neighbor. Our neighbor's going under, so we are going over. Sweet, sweet over and under. It is what makes life so nice. So saith the Rory. La 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 la. Alright, that one's done. We're just gonna let that go slack. I'm gonna go through with this one again. Now we're gonna go with this one. We're gonna follow our neighbor. Since our neighbor went over, we are going under. I don't know why I'm not on my knees. My back's gonna be angry with me tomorrow. There we go. Alright, now that we got that going, we're going to find the appropriate way to go about, which is following our buddies, figuring that out, and we're gonna go back around to finish it up. And once back around, we have some space. We're just gonna create a little overhand knot, stick that bad boy through there, tighten, and we are good to go there. Let's flip her back around. Now once you got your weave all set up, you're going to then make it look nice. This is the fun, meticulous part that I enjoy. Separating some of these lines, giving them some space, that the way they're not all cluttered and clustered together. Make it look pretty and symmetrical. Now, doesn't that just look appealing? With 60 feet of rope, you can make something as professional and awesome looking as that. And it was pretty simple, wasn't it? Weaving adds that element to any tie. It makes it look that much more awesome. All right, now to do the variant. All right, so we got ourselves a square knot. I have this red and purple going on right here. We're gonna put that in the back. We're gonna cross it just like we did last time, pulling a little bit tight, and then we're gonna go back and do a cross on the other side. So we're gonna cross back around. This one's gonna have to get weaved up through this way. Or under through this way. You know what I mean. Now we're gonna do the X in the back and then come out of the armpits, and that's where it's gonna get a little bit more technical. And we're gonna come up from the armpits and make sure you have a goodly amount of tightness in this one, because we're gonna need all the rope we can get, staying in constant communication with your partner, ensuring that it is not too tight. And I will ask now, Marie, is that too tight? Cool. So I'm gonna place this one over the shoulder right here. That way I have more room. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over, under, over. And we're doing that, we're spacing that, because when we have the other rope go back around, it's gonna come up this way, do the opposite of what we're doing here, and connect down this way. It's gonna create a little bit of a frill right here, but for the time being, we need this to be on the same sides, the exact opposite I've been telling you this entire time. I'm just gonna place that over the shoulder, that way it doesn't mess up. Now I'm gonna pull this down here, and we're gonna do the exact same thing on this side as well. Over, under, over. All right, so I'm gonna wrap this purple rope around and come around this way. Now in this situation, if you have a live partner, one that is not a mannequin, you can ask them to hold on to ropes, because it's gonna get a little bit interesting at times. So now that I am back around, I'm going to go under this one, over, and then under and around. So I go under this one, over, and then under and around. And once it's around, we're gonna do the exact same thing it was on the other side. So we're gonna go over this red one and under the purple one. We're gonna put this purple one over the shoulder to keep it steady, or you can ask your partner to hold on to that rope as we go around the other side with the red and do the exact same thing over here. All right, we've gone back around, so we're just gonna do the exact same thing that we did on the other side. Under this first one, over this purple, under and around. We've gone over, under, around, exact same thing. Now you can see the level of macrame we are doing now. At this point, you want to go and cinch these top ones, get them tight this way, pull them tight around this way, pull the second ones tight this way, and tight back around that way. That way you have enough rope for what's about to happen next. Now that we've crossed back around, we're gonna make sure that we have the opposite colors for when we're weaving back up this way. Now I'm just gonna have Marie hold this red rope in her hand right now as we weave the purple one. Now we're gonna do the exact same thing that we did up here. So following my neighbor up, I see that I have to go under because he is going over. So I'm gonna go under, over, under. Doing the same thing, making sure that I'm doing the same thing on this side because we're gonna be weaving through it. I'm gonna take the red one. I see that my neighbor is going over, so I must be going under this one. Under again. Then I will be going over and under and over. Now we're gonna come down this way, and then we're gonna go up and around. Now we'll do this red one first, and I'm gonna 90-degree turn. Since my neighbor's going over, I'm going under. Tighten that just a little bit, and we'll do the same thing with the purple. All right, now that we've got through, I'm gonna give this a little bit of looseness, and then I'm gonna go around the other side over here. And once it's through, we're gonna worry about the purple right now before trying to make it pretty. So we're gonna 90-degree turn, go up through this way. Since my neighbor went over, we're gonna go under it. And over and under and so on. So saith the Rory. I'm gonna even that out in a little bit. I'm gonna get this weave done first. And then we're gonna make it look nice. So after cleaning up this right here, we just kind of crisscrossed and then tied it up in the back, and I'll show you what that looks like. Now you will notice that I did add a little bit of a filigree over and under right here. I'll let you try and backwards engineer that to figure out how I did that. That is your homework. Well, that was the tutorial for weaving aesthetic shibari. And one of our wonderful sponsors today were the lovely folks down in Patreon. Those of you who are funding this artistic endeavor and helping to teach other people the wonderful art of shibari and kimbaku. Thank you very much. You too can be a contributor if you go down to patreon.com/Rory's Brainworks. Thank you for sharing your time with me. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this madness, comment down below what kind of shibari kimbaku ties you would like me to show you. As always, I'm Rory. This is my brain. I'm fairly certain it works. Be safe and go create some art.